we go. Welcome back to the Lunchtime NFL Draft Special here on the Believe YouTube channel. I'm Joe DeLeon, and with me, New York Giants legend, also host of the Sims Complete podcast on the Believe Network, Phil Simms. Phil, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk. I had your son Matt on not too long ago, and we got to talk to him about this quarterback class. So very excited to dig in and get your perspective opposite of what Matt had to say. I wanted to start our conversation here, though, allowing for listeners of the channel to understand what's sought after in a quarterback prospect. So I wanted to get from you, for a player to be worthy of a first-round pick in a year where there's not a lot of first-round quarterbacks, what do you think are some of those boxes that need to be checked in order to be worth being picked that high?
Well, look, first and foremost, Shough, first, good to be on the show. Appreciate it having me on. And I'm sorry you had to talk to Matt, but, sometimes we have to do that. And I would say this to you about quarterbacks. What's important? First and foremost, talent, okay? I don't give a damn if he's smart. I don't worry about – I want to see talent first. And I say this every year, and I believe in it more and more as time goes on. Give me two qualities, physical qualities, that the quarterback has that gives him a chance to succeed in the NFL. And if you tell me, well, he's really smart, you and I are on the wrong page here. I didn't say the brain. I'm talking about physical application. So is it size? Is it movement? Is he the most accurate quarterback you've ever seen? Does he have a powerful arm? And that's just where you start in my eyes. Then we kind of, jump into the rest. Is he making good decisions? Is he being coached to be a pro quarterback? Or are we running some kind of system that has no correlation to the NFL? So there's a lot there when you start talking about the rest. But first and foremost, I want to see the physical traits before I really get too far into it.
I feel like we already kind of understand and know who this first overall pick is going to be with Cam Ward. And I think that point that you just brought up is really nice introduction to why Cam Ward is being considered to be this first overall pick. Is the driving force for that? Is it the arm talent that you're talking about that separates him from everybody else?
Well, he has everything. He's all in one, man. He's all in one. And I don't know why he doesn't get a little more. Nobody, you don't even hear his word. You don't even hear his name out there because it's Shedeur, and then it's Shedeur, and then we get more Shedeur. So if the fans only hear so much, it's hard for them to start rooting for people. In other words, the Tennessee Titans, let's right there. The Tennessee Titans, when they got their general manager came in, he looked at the team, he goes, wow, we need talent everywhere. Okay. And then all of a sudden, the Giants think that they probably can move up and get the first pick and get Cam Ward. Well, the Titans start studying the quarterbacks. They go, oh, we better look at this Cam Ward guy a little more. And the more they looked at him, the more they kept going, oh, we got to take him. So I think he was trade bait at first, and then it was a knockdown. He's going to be the guy. So I forgot what your question was, Sheldon.
Well, specifically with Cam Ward to take it almost a little bit further, though, that I feel like at the beginning of this cycle, a lot of people were not really understanding of why he was worthy of being that first overall pick. What do you think, besides that arm talent, what do you think those big key separators were, why Titans fans should feel pretty secure about that selection?
Yeah, he has all the qualities you want in a quarterback, and it's just not arm talent. One, he's got size. That's always a trait. Big guys, whatever. You want them to have the right size. He has that. He's been groomed really well through his career. We know he has great aspirations because he went to all these different schools and made it work wherever he went, and he was the man. But his movement is really, really good. And, you hear this all the time. He can make all the throws. He can change his arm angles. I take that for granted now. Nobody's going to get drafted that can't do all the arm angles anymore. And the question is, can you throw well on the run? And then now we've done all the physical things. Does he make good decisions? Does he manage games well? Is he a leader of men? Is he contagious to the team? Everybody looks to him. And the answer to all those is 100% yes. I mean, he went out to practice at Miami, University of Miami, and after one practice, the coaches, the players, he's the best. He's the captain, and here we go. And I think Mario Cristobal, I think I read this or I heard him say it. He says after like 30 minutes on the field, oh my God, well, he's the guy. And I think it caught them by surprise. And I think his talent and whatever, I don't know why it took a while. And let me just say this too. Quarterbacks generally don't go down as we talk about this. Mm-hmm. Well, it's falling because NFL people are now judging him, and not all the draft experts on every station, people like me, and everything. When you're sitting there as an NFL team and you start evaluating these guys, it's going to be a hell of a lot different than what we see from TV, because TV, it's right away. And then, of course, TV's got to get people to watch. So they make everything either controversial. Can't believe so-and-so is falling. Well, yeah, you can. I can, because what we've already talked about, all that's not there. It is there with Cam Ward.
So speaking of falling, and you kind of already started talking about this, Phil, with Shedeur Sanders, he's in a way opposite of what you just talked about there, what is required to be a first-round quarterback. He is a lot lower in terms of his arm strength. He's not a big physical presence in the pocket like we typically talk about with the Josh Allens of the worlds. He's not as athletic as somebody like Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson. Would you take Shedeur Sanders in the first round, or do you think that, like some have projected him, believe that he's more worthy of going in the second?
Well, let me say this first again. One, I don't know how big do you got to be. When I look at him and watch him play, and I watched him on this computer for a long time, he looks big to me, and he plays big. He's strong. He's got decent mobility in the pocket, moves outside. So, and his arm, I keep hearing about his arm. Oh, it's not that strong. It never occurred to me during the season watching Colorado play that, oh, Cam doesn't have a strong enough arm. So those things I don't get. And, then I hear, and I hate to always say I hear, but I listen and, well, maybe if he goes to New Orleans, he's inside and his arm strength won't be a problem. Holy Christ. The way they talk about it, he's throwing the ball 5 yards or something. It's Shedeur's dropping such publicity, the turnaround at Colorado. So the media, the fan base, it's right away, it's out there. You listen to the games. He could be the first pick in the draft. And so it gets everybody excited. And the name, of course, Shedeur Sanders, Deion's son, brings more to it. And it's just a story that everybody wants to see. In fact, as you say this, here he is on TV, a big picture of him right now over my shoulder. But and then what happened, again, once everything settled down, we got through free agency, the combine, all this other stuff. We did pro workouts. Well, what was out there about him had changed. And, he's trying to change it back. He's had some workouts. I heard they went really well. His pro day, I thought he played it so safe. I didn't get it. I always say this too. Pro days are what? They're home run hitting contests. Man, let it go. Swing for the fences. And I didn't think he quite did that, but I heard his workout since then has been really, really good.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of his impact in the way that he's going to help himself during this process is anything that's happening, that's not in the public eye. It's easy for the media to freak out and to overreact to everything that he does, his father does. It's just the world that he's lived in. Part of me kind of thinks because of that he would work well in New York, that because of how quick to react and overreact New York fans, as somebody from New Jersey and a Giants fan growing up, that knowing how everybody always responds to things is always so immediate and it's so over the top, that maybe that would work well for Shedeur, because he's been molded in an environment that's almost just as bad, if not worse, than sometimes the way that the New York fan base can react. Do you think that he would be a good fit for the Giants and their current needs?
But yeah, I think he can be there. Now, first off, I never think about, oh, this guy can handle New York. This guy, it just never crosses my mind. I mean, you're on the field, man. It's practice. It's the game. It doesn't matter if the damn thing's in New York or wherever we go. We're still going to judge the same way. Did you play well? Did we win the game and all that? So I don't look at it and go, wow, he's built for New York. I just don't. Yeah, I was built for New York. Yeah, you come from Morehead State, you fit right into New York. Yeah, but it, it's the field. It's everything. It's the same. They people always ask me questions. I said, yeah, me playing at Morehead State when I played for the Giants, it's still the same. I'm just playing on the same field. So does he fit New York? Yeah, I think he's, the talent is not going to be like blow you away on the practice field. And, I look at Russell Wilson and, the players there, Jameis Winston. The first thing you'll see is he'll get out there and go, wow, these guys are pretty talented. Yeah, these NFL quarterbacks are all talented. There's third stringers and practice squad guys that you'll see him throw, and you go, oh, my God, he can really throw. Go watch Tommy DeVito throw. He's just not it's not all that. Tommy DeVito can really throw the football. So, Cam, yeah, he can fit in with the Giants. They'll make it work if they end up drafting him. And the question always comes up, Joe, will they take him with the third pick? I don't think so. I would be shocked if they did. And I would probably be like the Giant fans. Well, it's kind of quieted down now. The more that goes around, Joe, the less we hear about Shedeur to New York, because even the fans and some of the media has slowed it down, because I think they believe he's going to fall a little farther than that in the draft.
Are you not buying into because last week they had this workout where they flew out to Boulder, as you know, that like everybody, it's your typical week before the draft. Everyone is just the headline that everyone latches onto. Everybody was freaking out over there. Are you not buying into that? Maybe meaning that they're showing sudden late interest, that they're really considering it, or maybe that could have been some sort of a distraction or smokescreen for some of the other teams, because right now there's also news today from Peter Schrager that the Giants are taking calls for teams to move up to that third spot. How do you interpret that?
Well, they also went to see Jalen Milroe work out and Tyler Shough at Louisville, and they put the same effort into that as they did in Colorado. But we don't care about that. We care about Colorado. My God, here we go. It's going to work. But it's hey, the Giants, again, they're listening, because that just tells you we already know, I think. And could I be wrong? We're always shocked something happens in the draft. He won't be the third pick of the draft. I just can't imagine anybody's going to trade up to the third pick to get Shedeur Sanders. So I don't think that'll happen. And again, we didn't even hear about the other workouts. And so we'll see. I think Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, and Tyler Shough.
Yep.
Those three, they're very close. There's not a great separation in this group. And now I think it comes down to, what are you really looking for? To me, Dart and Shough, Tyler Shough, are a little more polished than Shedeur. They weren't running around and doing all that as much. They're readers of defenses. They got good arms. They got enough mobility. Tyler Shough can really move around. And I think he has a little bit of an edge on him as far as sometimes as throwing the football. But this will be interesting to see where they all go and who will reach to get the quarterback. And I guess you never heard this. This is one position you can reach for, is the quarterback, which I'm tired of hearing that too.
Yeah. So speaking of some of those other guys that you just brought up there, and like now you've really piqued my interest for teams that do need quarterbacks that are looking at both those guys. There's been for a while speculation that teams could take either one of them, Shough or Dart in the first round. So to start with Dart first, the concern feels like with him playing in an offense, Lane Kiffin's offense, that might not really translate to the NFL, the decision making that he needs. Do you have any worries watching him on film that he'll be able to pick up the pro game?
Zero, beyond zero, lower than zero. Can I go lower than that? I mean, I'm watching. Come watch with me, Joe. You should come over one day. I'm serious. Where you live?
I will not pass up on that offer. I will gladly come on over to watch film with you and Matt. I'm in Hoboken.
Oh, you're down there with the young guys. Okay, yeah. But if you, as I watch Jackson Dart, I never sit there and go, oh, I think the offense is really good. It's loaded with read, 2, 3, move, whatever, do this, look them all. He does it all. He runs when he has to. He doesn't. When he escapes the pocket, he gets rid of the football. He doesn't take sacks. Something Shedeur takes a ton of sacks outside the pocket because he's running, and that's fine. He gets outside the pocket. If nobody's open, what do, Joe? We throw it away. But he took a lot of sacks, and I think that's just you got to clean that up. But no, I don't think the Ole Miss offense. I think it's a plus for the NFL. When I watch it, it's not like gimmicky. I think everybody thinks it's not. It's far from that. It's decision making, accurate throws, and every route and play that football has, they have it in. So,
I think that's a really good way of putting it. And for Shough's case, I feel like the one criticism with him, he's an older prospect. He is 25 years old. He's been around college football for a very long time. I feel like a lot of times people ask, like, is he not too old? I think that would be a weird way of putting it. But like, do you have any worry that it's taken him this long to start to play to his potential? Like this was his final year in college football, 6-7 years that he's been around, that it took him this long?
Okay, here we go. I'm not being combative and all that. This is just the facts. One, he plays in a pro offense with Jeff Brom as the head coach down there. And Jeff Brom, listen, I know him well. And when you walk off the field, if it's not going well as a quarterback, he's going to say some things to you that could burn the top of your head. And you got to, so he takes that. And all this age thing, oh my God, he's only good for 10 years instead of, I mean, come on, let's be honest. If you're looking more than 2 or 3 years down the line, what is that? So he's ready to play in the NFL. And when he played before he came, I went back and watched him at Texas Tech. And I'm going to tell you, he was outstanding. Outstanding. Quarterback runs. He was running. He was even faster than he is now. And he ran in the 4.6s at the combine. At least he had the guts to go out there and run as a quarterback. Most of them don't. But his arm, even at Texas Tech, I watched it. Oh, my God, he lets it go. And I didn't quite see that at Louisville. He turned into a passer. You know, sometimes I like them to be throwers too, where you just go, I'm going to throw a fastball, man. I got to get it in there, and that's what I'm going to do. So all this and the age thing means nothing to me. In fact, I look at it the other way. He's been around it. He just keeps getting better, and he's thinking about being a pro football player. I think those are all advantages, and the age doesn't bother me one single bit.
The other guy that we haven't really gotten to, Jalen Milroe. To me, he's got such a wide spectrum of potential outcomes here. He could be Malik Willis, who was really hyped up when he was coming out, hasn't really had much of a chance to showcase his ability except for this past year for a brief period with the Packers, but he's been moved around. He's been traded since his time started with the Titans. And then the other possibility is maybe, hey, this is a guy who could be as good as Jalen Hurts. He has that much potential. He's a great athlete. He's got a strong arm. What do you think of Jalen Milroe? Or where would you maybe compare him to some of these other guys that we spoke on today?
Okay, I don't know what I'll say this about Malik Willis. He changed himself from one year to the next. Tennessee in season, he was outstanding. He goes up to Green Bay, you know. There's Jordan Love's over there sitting on the sideline and watching him play. He goes, I got to get my butt back in there because he's great. I mean, I graded him out in one game at 100%. He was, well, whatever. We're not getting into him. But, you know, when you talk about Jalen Milroe, man, we're talking about, okay, we saw Justin Fields and things that come with running quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson is so different from other people. Don't ever compare him to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson came in the NFL as a great runner and a really, really good thrower of the football. But nobody paid attention to that. And he was coached by Bobby Petrino, who runs a pro offense, who's a big teacher, all these things. But for Jalen Milroe, if you want to bring him in, and I hate this thing, we're going to groom the guy for a couple years, but he's the guy that can be the quarterback that comes in to run, to do other things, to fool the defense. And that guy can be on the field right away. He's Taysom Hill on steroids, and he can have a bigger impact than that. But as time goes along, you got to make sure you're trying to groom him to, one, be the full-time starter, then we can just really see it all. That's a big if, Joe, in my eyes. It's a big if. But, the NFL, it's not for long, man. You got to get it done, and we got to improve him and get on the field, all those things. So I do not see him as a first-round draft pick, and I think it's he'll probably go in the second just from listening, but I don't know. Even that I think is maybe a little high. So
I think you put him perfectly, though, that like his value that he at least brings for a team compared to all these other guys. He can go out there and he can contribute. They can use him as a runner. They can have very specific packages for him, kind of like what Jalen Hurts did when he first started out with the Eagles, where they just brought him in and they let him go be an athlete, and that was helpful for them in that short period of time. I think that now the big question is, though, that now that it's the week of the draft, the Giants fans, I'm sure you're getting asked a million times over, that they're itching for a young quarterback. If there was a quarterback in any round that you think that the Giants should take, let me rephrase that. A quarterback that not in the first round, any quarterback round 2 and beyond that you would like to see the Giants take. Is there a particular guy that comes to mind?
Well, I told you about the 3 that I think really fall in the same box, and I think there's going to be many different scenarios for it. I think some teams like one more than the other, and I think there's other teams look out there and go, hell, we like all 3, and let's just see which one we have to take. After that, you start going down the list. I haven't done it much. Jalen Milroe is a different thing. Kyle McCord is probably the passer of all the ones I watched this year. And I got to say this, I know Kyle really well and the father, and watched him practice on the field many, many times. But he's a dead-eye thrower. He led Syracuse to a great year. They won because of him. If they lost, it's because he couldn't just do everything for them. And, I go to this too. Go watch the game when he's playing against who? Cam Ward. A lot on the line. Syracuse needs to win for their whatever. Cam Ward needs to win. They both played outstanding, but Kyle McCord showed just about as much talent that day as Cam Ward did. So he kind of gets overlooked. He's not splashy, all those things, but I'm trying to think of other guys as I watch. It's a big discrepancy, I think, from some of these quarterbacks to the next group. And I think Kyle McCord is in that group I'm talking about, where he could be drafted somewhere in the second round, no later than the third round. It's just my thought. And I think there's quite a few teams out there that he fits perfectly.
Yeah, there's certainly – it's just a weird draft overall for a team that does need a quarterback because of everything that we talked about here. Is there's just not a lot of quality options that really present an immediate answer, just like we had last year. Last year we had so many guys that were able to solve a lot of those teams' problems, and it feels like almost all of them had an immediate impact. Not every single one, but the minute that they were able to step in, they were helping their teams win football games. Even Michael Penix, who was one of the last ones of the group in the first round, goes on to show some bright things at the very end of that season. So
absolutely. Michael Penix, I read, he threw 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. All right, that's so misleading. It's such a stupid thing to say because you're trying to make a point. It's the wrong point. He played outstanding. He makes big-time throws look so easy, it's ridiculous. And they got the guy. That's one of those guys, Joe, just to say this. When they went out and saw him and they saw the physical attributes, they went, this is unbelievable. In a hurricane, wind blowing everywhere. He didn't want to go indoors. I'll be all right. And he just rips it through it. Now he plays in a dome. He doesn't need a damn dome. But, so that Bo Nix, I heard all year long in the offseason, his arm's not strong enough. How did it look? How did his arm look?
Right.
What were you watching to say that? But I heard right from the senior, not as the Senior Bowl. Well, did they miss it? By 8 miles. That's what they missed. And Bo Nix was out. Every one of those quarterbacks, you said it right. You'd have to feel really good about what you've done as a football team for every one of those that were drafted last year.
Hopefully some of these teams outside of the Titans can secure that future. We got one non-football related question from our good friend Eric Weinberger, who asks Kinchley's in Mawa or Nelly's in Waldwick. I got to be honest, I have not been to either of them. Have you been to either of these spots? Oh, sure. Northern New Jersey, man. And you got the pizza. It's the best in the damn world. It's better than any. I'm a fake apparently because I haven't been to either of these. What would you pick though out of these two?
Oh, it's not even close. Kinsley's.
Okay.
Man.
I got to make note of that.
With my grandson, we watched a high school game last year. We drove to Kinsley's. I got 2 pizzas. He'd never had it. He opened it up, but we were driving to another game. As we're driving to the game, he ate the whole pizza. He ate a whole
like a whole large pizza or like a personal pizza.
It's really thin, and it's you can eat 4 or 5 pieces and go, all right, I got to have a few more here. But the second pizza, yes, that box was empty before we got out of the car to go to the football game. Let's put it that way. It's great.
Well, I think I know what I'm doing for draft night. Maybe I'll be ordering from there and picking up. But Phil, this was so great getting to catch up with you and get to know what to expect from the quarterbacks in this class. Folks, if you haven't done so already, please go check out Sims Complete. It is the best quarterback analysis show, football analysis show from you guys. I love listening to what you guys, the work that you do. If there's anything else I'm missing that you'd like to plug, please, of course, just
nothing else. Yeah, go to Sims Complete and listen to us. I watch a lot of TV and read everything, so I'm always countering what I hear is just really stupid things. Things to sell to people. Let's keep selling this dumbass thing that we're trying to do, whatever. Like last year. Well, not like last year, but my guy last year, my secret pick to go late in the second or third round is where I had him was Joe Milton. Then he goes to New England in round 6. And Matt and I both said, how stupid is that to draft Drake May and then Joe Milton? And only for this, because Joe Milton's talent is not good. It's phenomenal. It's real for the NFL. Movement, accuracy, decision-making, power, the arm. It's ridiculous. And he's got an attitude. And New England said, hell, we got to get him out of here. And they basically gave him, wait till Dak Prescott walks on the field and sees him throw a little bit. He go, oh my God, I don't want him around. No quarterback wants to go on the field and the starting quarterback can be the second best thrower on the football.
Right.
So
he'll make you feel weak. He's that big and strong of a guy. That's a great one.
Ridiculous. Don't forget, hold on.
Yeah.
Next year, get your butt up here. I'll let you sit in my office here.
I'm going to take your word on this. I'm going to text Matt. We're going to make this happen.
Oh yeah. Listen, you'll be sitting there. It gives me energy, man. We'll rip. Oh, so thanks for having me on though, Joe. A lot of fun.
Yeah, of course. Folks, everybody, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we're going to be back with more. Enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy draft week.
All right.